Father, the day is finally over, and I have made it to this quiet moment. But I have not arrived here lightly. I have been carrying things today that were never meant to be carried this long, and the weight of them is evident in every part of me right now. My mind is still running through conversations that have already ended, problems that have been partially addressed but not fully resolved, and concerns about tomorrow that have already begun crowding into the space where tonight's rest is supposed to live. My body is tired in the way that only a day of sustained effort and sustained tension can produce. The kind of tired that goes past physical fatigue into something deeper and more diffuse, a weariness that sleep alone will not necessarily fix. My spirit is asking, in the quiet way that spirits ask when they have been carrying more than their share, for permission to finally put something down. And tonight, Father, I am answering that request. I am not going to carry all of this into tomorrow. I am choosing right here at the end of this day to do the thing that has always been available to me, but that I do not always have the wisdom or the courage to actually do. I am going to let it go. All of it. Tonight. I want to be honest about why letting go is harder than it sounds, because if it were easy, I would have done it long before now. There is a part of me that believes, on some level below conscious reasoning, that holding on to my worries is a form of responsibility, that releasing them means I am not taking my problems seriously, that surrendering control means I have given up, and that the moment I stop thinking about something is the moment it will slip past me and cause damage I could have prevented if I had just stayed vigilant. That belief is one of the primary reasons I arrive at the end of so many days still carrying what I should have set down hours earlier. Tonight I am naming it, and I am refusing to let it be the thing that keeps me from the rest I desperately need. Staying awake and anxious over things I cannot resolve between now and morning is not responsibility. It is the illusion of control wearing responsibility as a disguise. And tonight, I am choosing to see it clearly for what it is and lay it down anyway. I release to you tonight every specific thing I have been holding. The work situation that is unresolved and that I have turned over in my mind more times today than I can count. The relationship that is strained and that I do not yet know how to fix. The financial pressure that arrived without invitation and that I do not currently have a clear path through. The health concern I have been quietly carrying without speaking out loud. The future uncertainty that looms large enough to color everything in the present with anxiety about what might happen before I even know whether it will. I am naming them not because you are unaware of them. You know every detail, but because the act of naming them and releasing them is something I need to do for my own sake, to make the surrender real and complete, rather than merely theoretical. I place every one of them into your hands tonight, and I am asking you to hold them until morning, and to hold them then too, and for as long as holding is what is needed. Quiet my mind, Father, with a gentleness that meets the specific quality of tonight's restlessness. The thoughts are not all equal. Some are loud and persistent, circling the same territory repeatedly without arriving at resolution. Others are quieter but more unsettling, surfacing in the spaces between the louder thoughts and leaving a residue of unease that is harder to identify and therefore harder to address. Reach into all of it, the loud thoughts and the quiet ones, the identifiable worries and the nameless unease, and bring them all to stillness, not through suppression, but through genuine peace. The kind that does not require me to pretend the concerns do not exist, but that assures me, in a way that actually lands, that they are being held by someone who does not need my anxious attention to manage them effectively through the night. Help me to trust you with the specifics of what I am releasing, not just with the general principle that you are trustworthy, which I believe, but with the actual particular things I am most afraid to let go of. The situations where the stakes feel highest. The relationships where the outcome matters most. The circumstances where I feel most out of control and most afraid of what happens if I stop supervising them with my worry. These are the things that are hardest to release precisely because they are the things I care most about. And tonight, I am choosing to release them, not because I care about them less, but because I trust you more. And the trust is not naive. It is built on every previous season where I discovered that what I released to you was handled better than anything my anxious management could have produced. Let your peace move through me right now in the most tangible, physical, immediate way. Let it slow my breathing, release the tension in my body, and quiet the mental activity that has been running non-stop since early this morning. Let it move through every anxious thought and displace it. Let it settle into the spaces that worry has been occupying, and make them inhospitable to the anxiety that wants to return. Let it be so genuinely present in me tonight that the experience of it reinforces my trust in you, so that the peace I feel as I drift towards sleep becomes its own evidence that releasing to you is always the right choice, always produces something better than holding on, and is always available to me at the end of every day, no matter how heavy the day has been. Guard my sleep tonight, Father. Let it be deep enough to actually restore what the day depleted, not the shallow, fragmented, halfway rest of someone whose mind never fully disconnected from its concerns, but the genuine, soul-replenishing sleep of someone who has truly laid their burdens down and trusts that they are being held. Let me wake tomorrow with something I did not have when I lay down, a renewed strength, a clearer perspective, and a spirit that rested so completely in your care that it arrives at the new day ready rather than already depleted. Use the hours of this night to do in me what the hours of this day did not allow, a deep and complete restoration that only genuine surrender makes possible. Thank you for being the kind of God who does not require me to have everything resolved before I am allowed to rest, who receives the unfinished, the unresolved, and the still uncertain with the same care as the things that have been neatly concluded. Thank you for watching over everything I am releasing tonight, so that I do not have to. Thank you for the peace that is already arriving even as I pray, the peace that is more reliable than my ability to manage my own circumstances, and more effective than any amount of nighttime worrying I could do. Just let go. That is what I am choosing tonight. Not because I have stopped caring, but because I have remembered who I am releasing everything to. And He is more than enough to hold it all while I sleep.